Good morning, students. Let us move on to Unit 2 in Communication Networks, Media Access and Internetworking. So, the data link layer has two different sublayers, the Media Access Control and Logical Link Control, LLC and MAC. One of the LAN with its backbone provides an access transmission facilities with two or more stations. The channel access is based on the MAC and it is controlled by the logical link control. It deals with addressing as well as the collision control and the data flow successfully in the network. The random access techniques used in the MAC layer are Aloha, CSMA, CSMA-CD, register insertion, and controlled access in the LAN, which is provided by the logical link layer. It includes two types, centralized and distributed. Centralized has a master as a center and different nodes act as a slave. Distributed has different nodes on the network and each and every network can master each other. This is the media access mechanism. It is of three types: random access protocol, controlled access protocol, channelization protocol. Random access protocol includes Aloha, CSMA, CSMA-CD/CA, and controlled access protocols include reservation, polling, token passing, and channelization protocols includes FDMA, TDMA, and CDMA. Media access communication. In this, a telecommunication device is used as a medium. It can be a mobile, a laptop, a Wi-Fi, or any medium, wired or wireless. Many different users at the same time transfer the message A, B, and C to the different channel and it remains as a broadcast. And the input lines are called the inbound lines and the output lines are called the outbound lines in which the message are being transmitted successfully. A media access control MAC protocol is developed for the successful transmission of the message with the addressing. In the radio communication, several stations share two frequency bands, one for transmitting and other for receiving. In this, a host issues a polling message. Whichever station picks the poll is ready to transfer the message and the message is successfully transmitted. It is done in the satellite communication with the uplink and downlink frequency bands. A pure Aloha. The access to the medium from one entry point, it is called as a contention window and it is controlled by the contention protocol. In random access method, each station has a media without controlling the other station. The pure Aloha helps to transfer the message in a fixed contention window, and if the channel is busy, the frames collide. Which lead to the collision of the frames and the frames had to be retransmitted. Aloha. The Aloha protocol was developed at the University of Hawaii in 1970. The Aloha was developed for packet radio network. However, it is applicable to the shared transmission media. The random access means there is no definite or scheduled time for the transmission. The basic idea of Aloha system is to uncoordinate the users competing for the single channel and to transfer successfully the data without the colliding of the packet. The original Aloha protocol is called the pure Aloha protocol, and these protocols help to transfer the frame in a contention window and to avoid the possibility of the collision between the frames. The pure Aloha protocols relies on acknowledgement which the receiver sends after receiving the frame successfully. If the acknowledgement does not receive, it is considered to be timeout and the frames are resent. The working of the pure Aloha. This is a flow chart showing the working of pure Aloha. Here is a start. With next, the initialization of the counter. The counter is initialized to check how many frames are sent. Next, sending of the frame, and waiting time is for the station which is to retransmit the next packet after the station A. The B waits for station A and C waits for B and A. Similarly, it goes on. The waiting time is equal to 2 into transmission time. Once acknowledgement received, the initialized counter gets incremented. If not, the acknowledgement is received. Then it's checked for the K max. K is less than K max. If so, then the station terminates the transmission of the packet. That is, that data has been successfully transmitted and the station receives acknowledgement from the receiver. Thus, it stops transmitting. If not so, it retransmits the frame until this transmission becomes successful. The vulnerable period of the packet is that the total time of waiting for the packet to transmit. If a station A sends packet A and packet B is also transmitted from the station B, then there is a collision. The total time of transmission of packet A will be T0 plus TP. And TP is the transmission of packet A and T0 is the transmission of packet B. And packet C has to wait until these packets are transmitted. If it is transmitted at the same time, there is a collision at the end of packet A. Pure Aloha channel throughput. It is given by S is equal to G into e to the power of 2G, where G is the offered traffic and the throughput for the pure Aloha S is equal to 1 divided by 2E, that is equal to 0.184. Slotted Aloha. In this, the fixed time slots has been divided to transmit the packet successfully, and each frame or data are transmitted in a fixed slot, and if the slot is not free, the station waits for its turn to retransmit. If the station sends the packets in the same slot as the other station transmit, then there is a possibility of colliding of the packets. The difference between the pure Aloha and slotted Aloha is the time slots are divided into fixed slots in slotted Aloha, whereas in pure Aloha it is not time constrained. The assumptions of slotted Aloha are the time is divided into equal size slots, all the frames are of same size, nodes are synchronized, and if two or more nodes transmit in a slot, there is a possibility of collision. The throughput of the slotted Aloha is given by S is equal to G into e to the power of minus G, and G is the traffic, and the maximum throughput at G is equal to 1, S is equal to 1 by E is given by 0.368. The throughput of the slotted Aloha is twice that of the pure Aloha. And this is the difference as I have mentioned earlier. The carrier sends multiple access, CSMA technique. The CSMA technique is used to sense the channel and it waits whether the channel is free or not. If the channel is sensed to be free, the station starts transmitting the message. And this is called carrier sense multiple access. The possibility of the collision still exists because of the propagation delay. This delay occurs only because of the station waits to transmit the packet. The vulnerable time for CSMA is given by TP and the total transmission time is taken to be T1 plus TP for a particular station. There are three different protocols under CSMA: non-persistent CSMA, one-persistent CSMA and p-persistent CSMA. Non-persistent CSMA. In this, the diagram shows the working of non-persistent CSMA. The channel checks whether the channel is free or not. If ideal, it started transmitting the message. If busy, it waits for its turn randomly. This is called non-persistent CSMA. One persistent CSMA. The station continuously senses the channel, and once the channel is ideal or free, it starts transmitting the message, and there is no further delay for transmission of the packet since there is a continuous sensing of the channel. This is called one persistent CSMA. P-persistent CSMA. In this, the channel checks for the ideality of the channel. If the channel is ideal, it started transmitting. If not, it waits for a fixed time slot, and then or after the time slots gets over, it start transmitting the packet. If there is any problem, it then takes its time to wait, sends the channel, and then it retransmit. This is called P-persistent CSMA. Carrier sends multiple access with collision detection. In this, the collision detection is previously detected in order to avoid the collision of the packets as well as the retransmission and delay of the transmission. The carrier sends multiple access with collision detection is most commonly used in LAN. It is used in IEEE 802.3, that is the Ethernet standard specification. This protocol, the station with a message is used to send and monitor the channel. If the sending of the channel waits or differ, the station has to wait or finish the transmission. If no station is ending with the same time, the station may transmit immediately. The term the carrier sends include listening before transmitting. And this is the diagram which shows the operation of CSMA/CD. The channel checks for the collision. If there is a possibility of collision, it waits and then transmits. CSMA/CD has The station A listens the channel transmitting before the packet with the address of the destination. The station B and C are ready for transmission. B senses the channel. If C is unaware of the transmission, the A's transmission reaches C. The C detects a collision and waits for the turn since the send signals got jammed. The effect of collisions propagate back to A and A stops its transmission and A sends a jam signal. So the station senses the jam signal and waits for its turn until no jam signal is received and then start transmitting the packets or the frame successfully. Next, carrier sends multiple access with collision avoidance. In this, the collision is avoided in order to successfully transmit the frame from one station to the other. CSMA was invented with three different methods. One is inter-frame space, contention window and acknowledgement. The inter-frame space is a frame space between the two continuous sensing of the station. And the contention window is the size of the window in which the frames or the packets are being sent. Acknowledgement is the receiver's response for successfully receiving the packet. The CSMA/CA faces two different problems, hidden node problem and the exposed node problem. Hidden node problem is that if A is transmitting a message to B, C does not know what is happening in the network. So at that time, C remains hidden and C faces a problem of a hidden node of sensing the channel. So A starts transmitting a message to B or B starts transmitting a message to A, but C does not know what is happening in the channel. This is called hidden node problem. Whereas in the exposed node, if B is ready to transmit the message to A and C or other neighboring nodes, it will find the network to be busy as B hears C is transmitting. Even if B would have to be transmitted to A, it will not be in a problem at A or D since they are being the receivers. And these nodes are exposed to the particular problem and they won't suffer from these problems. And this is called the exposed node problem. The flowchart for CSMA/CD is shown in the figure. We start with the back of time is set to 0 and it waits for its interframe space or difference in the DIFS, and if sends the channel, if it is ready to send, that is RTS, it sets a timer and start transmitting the message. If there is any collision, then it takes an increment of the back of time and waits for its turn and it will terminate its transmission since that collision should be avoided. If the channel is free and it starts sensing the channel to be ideal, it starts transmitting and it provides a successful transmission of the message based on CSMA with collision avoidance. Next one is the Ethernet standard. It is given by IEEE 802.3. Generations of Ethernets include standard Ethernet with a speed of 10 megabits per second, fast Ethernet 100 megabits per second, Giga Ethernet 1 gigabits per second, 10 gigabit Ethernet 10 Gbps. And here is the frame format for the MAC sublayer. It includes a preamble. Preamble is the start of the bit. Next, start frame delimiter. It includes where the header or a message starts. Next, destination address where the message has to be delivered. Source address from where the message is started.